Hello.
How's it going? I had to join with the computer audio.
I saw. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. How's it going with you?
Dude, I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Would you say that you're doing pretty well?
I would say I'm doing Omar the Great.
Okay. Me too. I'm being
Good.
Omar the Great.
Good. That's excellent. I watched episode 10 earlier today. I wanted to say thank you for those kind words. That was really rejuvenating for me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, that was nice to hear.
Yeah, what resonated with that about you?
About me? Oh
Or
no,
I
I
mean, what
just
resonated with you about that? I got my words mixed up.
I just especially right now when I've been kind of cooped up alone and trying to deal with the sort of this forced solitude, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I forget some of the really big steps in life that I've taken, and some of the growth that I've achieved, and the ways in which I've challenged myself. And it's easy for me to lose sight of that when I'm going through a period where I'm learning how to derive energy in new ways.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What are some new ways you're deriving energy?
I'm just trying to find emotional gratification and energy in doing things around the house, taking care of the plants, the cat,
Heck yeah.
cleaning, victory in the way of not laying down all day and spending time on my phone.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a good word, victory. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's because it's easy to get caught in like a mental trap where like I don't know, like sometimes it's kind of like giving oneself permission. It's like, okay, like even though I may be just like I don't know, like organizing my space and
Mhm.
like I could be doing something else. It's like I know that this is one of the steps that's gonna get me to where I want to go, and it's like that's like a victory. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I do, and I agree. Um, I feel, yeah, I feel like I often let some of those things go to the wayside, which is I'm trying to feel gratitude for the opportunity to focus on those things more. Like I
oh
just
yeah,
have more of a chance to be with myself and to do those things and to seek pleasure in just doing things that I ordinarily consider to be mundane or which I don't usually have the energy for at the end of a long day of doing other things.
yeah,
So
dude, that's awesome.
it's a
It's
cool
just
reset.
it's yeah, it's like a mental transmutation. Like it's the same things that you've probably been doing for so however long, but now you're just going in with that heightened intention. It's like now I can take charge of how I feel with this, and it's gonna be something that's in my favor. It's gonna be something that
Yeah.
serves me. That's what's up,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. What and are you experiencing any challenges in this new kind of, or you know, in this way of life that we're having to live right now?
Yeah, it's a lot of like it just sucks that I can't like hug people.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like I miss being able to embrace my grandparents and just
Mm,
like anybody like I'm a hugger, you know. So it's
yeah,
like
me too.
so that's one of the challenges like but I don't know, maybe like this inability to express in the physical, like that physical affection, I feel like is translating into something right here in our podcast. Like I just talk about like we talk about love a lot and stuff, and I
Yeah,
think like that's a spiritual glow of the physical or like something that came from the physical affection that's not being like channeled.
it's a manifestation of that same energy in a new wavelength.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a beautiful way to put it. I
thank
dig
you.
your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. It's you.
Can you show the camera?
I can. Look, it's Omar.
Oh, dude, hold on. Let me put on a hat.
It's you. That's fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for stuff like that. I'm thinking about like I want to do some kind of merch store, but I don't want to like run it, if that makes sense. I mean, like
Yeah.
I want to like own it, but not run it.
You should hit up a branding company. There are people that you can that either will just kind of like take ownership of like the merchandising that you give them and host a website for you and like take a cut. And then also kind of like handle the production of the merchandise.
Have you done
You,
anything like that?
no, I've talked with companies. I don't want the story I'm about to say to suggest that I don't trust companies like this, but I I was working with a branding company before I went on that short tour in December back to California, and they totally fell through on me, and it cost me a lot of money in terms of the revenue that I was anticipating, which I didn't necessarily need. It just would have been nice. um, and they didn't come through on their promise, but what they were kind of sharing in terms of what they could do for me seemed really enticing. And so I think a similar organization with the same sort of offerings wouldn't be something I put off the table in the future.
Yeah, that's just a valuable experience that you had.
Yeah,
And
I got to learn about what's out there from them. So that's cool.
heck yeah.
Yeah,
Did you hear the woohoo in the background?
I did. Is that Luis's little home? Is that Ollie is his name? Is that
Yeah,
right?
Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie. That's what's up.
Oliver.
Oliver.
Yeah. Like
That's a
a
cool name.
yeah, like a skate trick.
Yeah.
So what is there anything specific you want to talk about?
um, what'd you do today?
I found myself gardening a little bit, just like getting my fingers in the soil
Oh,
and
that's cool.
pulling out some like weeds and long grass, and have
Mm.
a vision for like a cool little garden, like just like some flowers and stuff. So I did a little bit of that. I just finished cooking some pasta,
Mm.
and yeah, dude, it was pretty tasty. And then I've been like editing videos and stuff. It's cool, like timing everything. Like I'll like time a video export or a video upload, and then all like it's cool. I feel like I'm being super productive, and
That's
I just
good.
yeah, I just feel like myself getting better. So
That's rad.
yeah, I read a little bit too.
What are you reading?
I picked up this book called Far Masters, or no, The Masters of the Far East, something like that.
Oh,
It's like an old like leather book, and like the pages are like yellow, and there's like that beautiful like
the
smell to it.
smell. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that smell.
Heck yeah. I think it might be from like the 1920s. I'm guessing
Whoa.
1920s or 30s.
Where did you get it?
I think I got it at a thrift store.
That's a cool find.
Heck yeah, dude.
What's it about so far?
It's about like these uh these people are traveling to experience something. And so there's like the chapter I just read, there's like a caravan of like 300 people, and most of the people in this group are traveling to experience healing. So a lot of these people were like sick or hurt or whatever it was. And
Yeah.
and as they're going, they start experiencing like the unexpected happen. So like they didn't plan for like bad weather, and they had to like stay somewhere. So while they were detained waiting for
Mm.
the storm to blow over, they they were kind of tripping out on their food. And then one of the leaders, he was like does God not provide to all of his creations? And basically he made a corn grow like really fast. Like he planted a seed, and then he grew corn, and then from that corn he started like to produce a lot of bread, and then he was just like instantaneously creating corn and bread. And yeah, and then it's just like interesting things happening like along their journey. So right now they made it to like a healing temple where everything like resonates at the frequencies of peace and love and healing and all those kinds of
Yeah.
words.
This
And
sounds
it's
like a video game to me. Like
good.
just like in kind of the way that guy made the corn and the bread. Like it makes me think of like when you craft in a video game and you make like a you make something in like an unrealistically quick amount of time
Yeah.
just by like combining ingredients over a pot. I always love that.
Yeah, like you find a hack to make like 100 whatever like.
Yeah. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like that where like you'll like shoot a deer, and then the cool thing about that game is you have to like maintain the sustenance of your character. And so like you have to eat, and sometimes you can like set up a camp when you're traveling, and then you have a fire and you sit at the fire, and then you just pull out like a hunk of the meat that you shot and put it over the fire for a second, and then it's cooked.
And then it's ready.
Yeah.
That's funny. You play on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you played
How,
that game?
no, I haven't.
It's a lot of fun.
Is,
I haven't played it in a few days. I've been I got the PlayStation mostly so I could like play Grand Theft Auto with John and Skylar from Welcome to Limerick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is Red Dead Redemption, is that like a Western?
Yeah. Oh, and I love it, dude.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's connecting me. I used to when I was a kid, I really liked Western novels, and it makes me it evokes the inner child from within me, and just kind of
Yeah.
broadens my imagination as I like take part in the story. It feels like a Western book that I would have really enjoyed.
Gives you a little boy boner.
Yeah. Like our FBI agents are very concerned right now.
Like yeah, I feel you. It's like
Yeah.
you're something that you're it's like it like the child in you is like just super happy
Yeah.
and excited.
Yeah, it is like that's true. And I've been thinking like when I go outside in the mornings, I think about this a lot. Like how could I have childlike joy today? Like what
Cool.
would bring me that? And I try to do that. Or, like how can I work that in around the things that I've had planned? And
Yeah.
yeah, I can't um something funny happened the other day, and I just started like laughing about it to myself. And or like I wish I could remember what it was that happened, but I thought it was one thing, and it was I couldn't tell you what it is right now. But then I started laughing in spite of myself because I was like, dude, you're dumb, Zach. Like, why would you think this was whatever you thought it was? And then I was like, oh man, like I was just like giggling in spite of myself and like laughing at myself, and it wasn't like I was like angry with myself. I just thought everything was hilarious in the moment, and then I was like, oh man, this is so childlike. It was like so fun.
Did you have that during or afterwards where you were like, "Oh, this is so childlike."
Like immediately, like during.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like as soon as I realized, I don't. I wish I could remember what it was. It was like I thought there was it was like I saw a bird, and then I heard a noise, and I was like, how is that bird making that noise?
Whoa.
And then whatever the noise was like went by, and I was like, oh duh, that's not a bird. And then I started laughing at myself.
Good.
Yeah.
That's I want to talk about that like just holding on to that kind of childlike quality.
Yeah.
It's like I think a big part of being a kid is an imagination, like just the
Yeah.
strength of the imagination. And do you feel like, do you use your imagination when you make music or like when you create?
I think with music, I'm a bit more pragmatic than imaginative.
Yeah.
I try to be imaginative in terms of like the way I combine instruments and arrange things. Like I don't want to just be cookie cutter about it. I think of that as imaginative. But I think I try to write. Like I try to be like a storyteller, and I do comedy, and a lot of that is storytelling. And I think in that way, I have a vivid imagination. I always have since I was a kid. I've always been like able to sort of create and construct worlds in my mind, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, and and sort of I mean, like when I was a kid, I would like like during play, I could like sit in the corner for hours by myself and just kind of construct a narrative that was happening around my like my toys or whatever. And that hasn't necessarily gone away. Like I think I'm a daydreamer in a lot of ways, and that's where I get like I do get ideas for music out of that. I get ideas for like types of genres I want to explore in my music. I get ideas for like books I want to write or like things I want to put together. Yeah. What about you?
I have a question real quick. So,
Okay.
like when you like create these narratives, is it like do you see like a different world, or like how are you like just putting words to the situation to perceive it in a certain way? Like how are these narratives constructed?
If I'm thinking about like fiction I want to write,
Yeah.
then yeah, I think well in like some ways like I think of fiction that exists around us. Like I'll like I'm writing a book right now that's like sci-fi or like dystopian sci-fi, and it centers around this girl that lives in rural Oklahoma, and it's kind of it imagines so it almost imagines a different world just kind of like ours. It exists in the context of our world that's kind of like crumbled a little bit, and all the places are the same, but like basically I'll give you a quick rundown because I like the concept.
Okay.
Basically this alien race has comes to Earth, and they have kind of like the ability to channel the electrical current that runs through their bodies, just kind of like how we have one, and they can like, use it to almost think like Force lightning in Star Wars, but not quite. But they can do like similar things like that, and they can sort of like manipulate the energy in other people too. And they when they come to Earth, they start to realize that there are humans that are sensitive to the same ability, um, and then so they've been among us for a while, and they're like subjecting us to testing, and then they're also like trying to breed us and breed with us somehow, and then they accidentally help to create or breed one guy who becomes like more powerful than any of them. Like his ability to channel it is beyond their capability, and they're not necessarily nice to humans. So he like grows angry, and he's it's almost like he's born in captivity, and he like bursts out and joins society and kind of hides in, and then he formulates this plan to use his power kind of negligently negligibly. I don't know how to phrase that. He's negligible about his use of his power, and then he ends up overthrowing the government because like there's no human weapon that can stop him. Like if like bullets are flying at him, he can just sort of like change the way like the matter is flowing towards him. That's how powerful he is, and he ends up having um like a daughter, and there's a resistance of people who also have the same ability that um, take her and hide her away in rural Oklahoma. And as like America begins to crumble, he's partially searching for her and partially leading the effort to overthrow like all of the United States and then ultimately the world. And the story centers around the girl.
Do you think humans have that ability to channel that energy within us?
Wow. Maybe not specifically that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not specifically like kind of like the electric energy, but we energy is something that we use alchemically every day. I mean, like we like channel it into parts of our bodies, like it transmutes and transforms into different things, and we expel things from our body as a consequence of burning energy and utilizing energy. And we, like we have lactic acid in our bodies that like starts to get strained and burnt off as we over strenuize our muscles.
I feel you. I think like, dude, I don't know. I think we can like control that to a certain extent, like just the way that all the energy flows, and like the way how we
Mm-hmm.
can bring awareness to a certain body part. Like we can bring healing to it too.
It's pretty rad. How do you exercise that practice?
I think it's like a mix of just like being healthy overall, like yeah, like having a good diet and exercising, and like like just making sure you're getting all of the right nutrients, like physically and like and spiritually. And then it's also like intention of like, oh, I'm healing my body right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that about you a lot. You also you express those things out loud. And
Heck yeah, dude.
gratitude for those things.
Oh yeah, like literally when I feel something crack in my body, I just like thank God for that, like for the pop. Like I'll crack my back. It's like,
Thank you
oh,
for this
thank you.
healing. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all good cracks now.
That's cool. I love uh knuckle cracking, and any kind of like cracking of the body is borderline pornographic for me.
You remember how we used to watch those blister popping videos?
Yeah, dude. Yes, I do. So it's kind of like that, but I'm a little bit more like I'm grossed out by like pimple popping and zip popping, but it's like I can't stand to look away. Like I'm so fascinated. And it does, like when like they get the stuff out, I'm like, oh, that feels relieving in some ways. But like when I hear like a good like back pop, I'm like, oh God, that's so good.
So I got two things to say.
I'm ready for at least one of them.
On the last podcast I just filmed,
Mm-hmm.
it was with Joseph, my brother.
Oh, dude, that's exciting.
And we were talking about like cracking things. And I was like, what's the best crack that you've had in your life? And he was like oh, like when you cracked my back that one night. And then like I don't know, that's just something that reminded me right now. Like, interesting synchronicity.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, my most watched video on my channel is a blister popping video that I made for you.
I know, it has like 530 views.
Something like that.
Yeah. I was actually I watched that the other day. I remember when that happened. It's like 8 seconds long.
Yeah, it's super short.
Yeah, it was funny. I for a while I became known like or not known, but like people would, when I would see people, they'd be like, "Oh, dude, can you pop my back?" Or like will you pop my thumbs? That's the one. Like, oh, I don't know how to do this. You do it better. I do this one right here. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that poster to your right?
That one that my hands on?
Oh wait, to your left.
To my left.
No, the
Yeah.
other way. Sorry, the one in the corner with like there's like a moon.
There is.
Yeah, is that
Oh,
a
over
moon?
there.
Yeah, what is that?
That's a Rick and Morty poster,
Oh, cool.
but it's like I want to believe, and it has the Rick's car, and you can see Rick and Morty are in it, and it says "I want to believe," like the X-Files poster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
it's like the one you have, but Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, did you want to talk about the Boondocks?
yeah. I don't remember a lot about the Boondocks, but I loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you like Riley and what's his brother's name?
Riley and I wanted to say Jonesy, like from Letterkenny, but that's not right.
No,
Riley and
dang, I can't
Riley's
remember.
like the one that wears his hair in cornrows, right?
I don't remember.
Hold up, I've got the internet right here.
Okay.
I loved that show.
Yeah, dude. So freaking funny. The grandpa.
Oh, Huey.
Huey.
Yeah, Huey had the afro, and Riley had his hair in like cornrows.
Yeah.
But my
Riley.
favorite was definitely Uncle Ruckus. I learned. So actually, you made me think of something when you mentioned Boondocks.
Yeah.
You know that episode that deals with Martin Luther King Jr. like coming out of a coma?
Yeah.
I learned recently that I don't know if it seems like there's compelling evidence that it's beyond a conspiracy theory, but Martin Luther King Jr. didn't die like right after he was shot. Like he was in a coma in the hospital, and it seems like he was actually murdered there, like by like smothering or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, seems like there's some pretty compelling evidence towards that. He didn't die of the gunshot wounds.
Hmm.
I thought that was interesting.
So the episode kind of brings attention to that, like he was waking from a coma.
Yeah, and he comes back, and he ends up hanging out with Huey a lot,
Yeah.
and he says some things at the end. And then doesn't he get shot again?
Oh, I don't remember.
I
I
can't
think
remember.
yeah. I just remember enjoying that show.
Yeah, you
And
were on a big Boondocks kick for a while.
and like yeah, there's like the little rascal and then like the little woke one.
Yeah. Yeah. Riley's the rascal.
Yeah, and like Riley was like kicking it with like Exhibit and like
Yeah, when
Snoop
he
Dogg.
moved in across the street,
Yeah.
like moved in the neighborhood. Yeah, that's funny. And then doesn't like grandpa try to fight Exhibit or something like that?
I don't remember. Oh, dude.
It's been like years and years since I watched that show. I watched
Yeah.
it one time with you in my old apartment. I remember that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Those were fun times.
Those are great. Those were really good times. We were vlogging a lot back then.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. And we were you got me into Guild Wars too.
That's right. No, yeah, you like post up in my kitchen and I'd be on the other side. And we would just play Guild Wars 2. We should do that again. Are you down?
Not really.
Me neither. I'm glad you said no.
Oh, maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, probably. It was a fun game. One thing I learned to appreciate about that, like the one thing I remember about Guild Wars 2 that wasn't a part of Guild Wars 1 was that like you have to go to like these vistas and like overlook things, and a lot of it was about like the journey and the exploration and kind of like appreciating the art of the game. And normally I'm inclined to not really like that kind of thing in a video game. I'm more about like the storyline, but I learned to kind of appreciate like the beauty of the scenery that they'd built in, and like making it more about an adventure that's not necessarily driven by a plot, but by like your experience with the environment.
What are some vistas that you've been to in real life?
I've been to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I've been like to a bunch of cool places in Ventura County that have some gorgeous views I've ever seen.
Wow.
One of them we went to shortly before I moved to Oklahoma City.
Oh
We
yeah.
went to the botanical gardens in like Thousand Oaks, and when you go up like past like the hills of it,
Mhm.
there's like this vista with benches and stuff. I went back in December too, or January. I can't remember.
To that vista?
Mm-hmm. My
Cool.
friend Sarah and I went on a hike there.
That sounds lovely.
Not like a hike, but like a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's
Oh yeah, we actually also saw her that day also at Gardens of the World. That Sarah that we ran into there.
oh cool.
Yeah.
Shouts out Sarah.
Yeah.
I like the like what you talk about enjoying the environment of the video game and like the beauty of like the design. That's how I felt playing Oblivion. Like
Oh,
yeah, dude. Like the I just like in my mind and in my perception of it, it was like I love the way that it blended something real or like something that could be conceived as real, like but then also like the magic and the fantasy starts to
yeah.
like come in like and it's really cool just like the way that it's blended. I think it's really well blended that
You're
game.
like walking around this beautiful lake, and then all of a sudden a giant is there trying to kill you.
There's no giants in Oblivion, but yeah,
There are
that's
in
in Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played Oblivion.
Oh yeah, dude. I enjoyed Oblivion a lot more than Skyrim, but I don't know if it's
Oh,
because it has the nostalgia factor.
that might be. I wonder. It's interesting. A lot of like Skyrim like blew up that series. I felt.
Oh yeah, dude. Skyrim's Skyrim's pretty freaking tight. I think
Yeah,
just Oblivion has a special place in my heart.
yeah. I remember. I think I remember watching you play that on the Xbox once when we were like way younger.
What do you draw inspiration from video games?
You know, you've asked me that question several times over the years,
Yeah.
and at first I was like, "What? No." But yeah, now totally. I think you opened my mind to you and Clifford have opened my mind to like how I can um, become inspired by video games to create something. And so like what I find is like I'll be in a certain mood after playing video games or like after like experiencing the narrative of a video game. And then that I think tonally impacts what I create after that if I choose to.
So where do you naturally draw inspiration from?
Experiences I have in life.
Cool.
Yeah. Or like I'm working on a song right now with our friend Lauren, and
Yeah.
I actually gotta send her that later tonight. What I've been working on, but like she gave me a mood board of things to work with,
Cool.
and I went on a walk and I was like listening to it in headphones and I was walking around, and I remember thinking like these songs kind of feel like the sadness that comes with this experience of kind of being separated from my friends and like locked in the house all the time. And so then I took that and I thought, how could I capture my experience of this when I'm feeling blue over it? And so I did.
That's cool. How did you put that? It captures the sadness of what?
It captures the sadness that I feel when I'm like feeling down about this whole thing, this whole coronavirus situation.
Yeah. So you're able to translate that into music.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's, I would compare that to like how sometimes video games will impact that. Like if I play like a really fun action game and it gets my adrenaline going, and then I want to write something heavy
Yeah.
or like something that's like fast paced, and like I just get like moved by the immersive nature of what I've just experienced.
Yeah, it's that's a I think a big part of it is that immersion. like
Yeah.
going into the feeling and kind of let it shower over you, or like not like necessarily dwell in it. I mean, like that's possible too, but yeah, like definitely like trying on that feeling or that situation or whatever that mood, and like writing from that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, I had something that like slipped, like was at the front of my mind and then slipped away from it. That was like a good example.
It was a slippery example.
It's a slippery example.
Hey, can you teach me how to be funnier?
Maybe. Do you carry a notebook with you wherever you go?
Yeah.
Do you, when you're out in public and like things are happening, do you keep it in the back of your mind like that you're looking for like things to make comedy out of?
Not that way. It's more like I ask myself, or I tell myself I can see the humor in any situation.
Yeah. That's kind of how I like everywhere. If I, and it's less so right now because I'm not going a lot of places, but like any situation I have, kind of like at the start of all of this, I helped this girl hang up like a gallery in the neighborhood, and she's really pretty, and um, we I was helping her out because like things were kind of getting crazy, and one of her friends were there, and we were talking about mustaches, and I was doing the social distache thing,
Whoa.
and so I'm like I was like being all shy around her kind of because she's really pretty and and really cool. And so anyway, she was kind of like in the zone, and she was saying like somebody said something about mustaches, and I had one. And she goes I fucking hate mustaches, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, because I had like nothing but a mustache on my face at the time. I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh my gosh, that sucks. And then so anyway, when I got home, I kind of like I was like I wasn't bummed about it. I thought it was really funny. And then
Yeah.
I was like, how could I create a story about that would go onto the stand up stage? And so I kind of like I just sort of added a little bit to it, and that's kind of how I do comedy. Where like I was like I would basically tell it like, so I was hanging out with this girl that I really liked, the other day, and like I thought she was like really amazing. We got to talking about mustaches because I have one, and she goes, I fucking hate mustaches, and I was like, oh wow, well thanks. She goes, oh no, I mean like I hate them on people that I find attractive. And so which she never said, but
Right.
that's I think that's the imagination part of it. You
Yeah.
have to be imaginative, and like you can create stories like from
Mm.
stories.
That's it.
I
You
had
do.
I had one where I made a bit about going to a hockey game with an ex-girlfriend. And I've been to hockey games with ex-girlfriends, but this never happened. Like I like basically said that we got on the Jumbotron on the kiss cam, and then she flipped it off, and then like a guy in a suit came up and like took us back, and he was like, you can never do that again. And I was like, man, I've been waiting like 22 years to get on the Jumbotron, like since I was a kid. I don't think you have to worry about that ever happening again.
Have you ever been on the Jumbotron?
My name has
What?
when I was a kid, and I lived in Fullerton. My next door neighbor worked for the Anaheim Angels,
Yeah.
and I was a big fan of the Angels.
Hmm.
At the same time, my grandfather, who worked for Nestle Waters, would get tickets to Angels games all the time. So we would go, and we would always let him know when we were going. And then at the top of the fourth period, he would they always do like the Angels welcome, like so and so, and he would always add our names in, Chris and
Heck
Zach.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
So I thought that was cool.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I wanna I wanna like learn how to be funnier. I think like my friend Claire gave me the advice of pointing out the unusual in a situation. So it's like
Sounds like a funny moment. That's like a Zach Galifianakis thing in like the Hangover. It sounds like something he would do.
like pointing out the unusual.
Yeah.
So I what's kind of it's kind of unusual that like I see two of my faces on the screen right now.
I get it. Yeah, it's really unusual.
But at
I
the same
had to
time
think about that one.
it's like of course like that's happening around me like
Right. That's the kind of dude, weird stuff happens to us, huh?
yeah,
We,
I embrace it.
yeah, we bring in a lot of like interesting like people and experiences that happen.
Yeah, I think we attract what we are, and that's kind of concerning at times. Like it's based on like
Yeah, dude. Dang. Fuck. Man, I've attracted some weird shit.
I got a story.
I want to hear it.
So I was leaving. I was leaving like a church group. Like we had a young adults group, and I had a cup of egg salad or potato salad in my hand. And this is like late at night in a kind of sketchy part of Oxnard.
Oxnard.
And I hear somebody. I'm walking to my car. I hear a voice behind me. It was a girl. She was like, "Hey," and I just kind of tried to ignore her. And then she's like, "Hey, you!" Like walking in front of me. So I turn around, and then like she just like comes up to me, and then she's just like where are you going? Like what's that in your hand? Is that a beer? And I'm like, no, it's potato salad. Like, do you want some? And and she's like, hey, can you give me a ride? And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know you. And then she's like, oh, can you just like can you walk with me for a little bit? Because I don't want to get like arrested by the cops. Whenever like I walk around the block, I get arrested. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, so, but at the same time, like, she seems like I don't know. I felt like I was supposed to like be with her at the moment, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And she had the same name as my abuela, so that felt like a sign. And
Lita?
yeah, her name was Manuela, which is
Oh.
like Lita is like short for Manuela. Anyways, it was I was like, okay, fine, like I'll give you a ride. So we walk to my car, and then I'm like, well, where do you live? And then so like we drive to where she's giving me directions to. We pull into like a trailer park, and we get to the house, and she's like, okay, wait here. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I just gotta make sure they're home. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, hurry up. So she gets out, and she like knocks on the door, and I'm like looking, like waiting. And then she comes back, and then she's like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought this was your house. And she's like, no, it was some friend's house, and they don't want me here. And I'm like, what the heck? And at this point, I had to pee really bad. So I'm like, I'm gonna pull over to pee, but then like I'm gonna drop you off. Like I don't like where am I taking you kind of thing. So it's just like a really like interesting like culmination of events. And I eventually so we up she's like, okay, can you take me to my tia's house? And we drive like down this alley, and she's like, okay, I think this is it. And I'm like, you think?
Think?
Like so then the same thing happens. Like she leaves. And I remember thinking like, okay, she's got like 2 minutes. Like if she's not back by 2, okay, because she's like, wait again, like, and I'm just like, hurry up, and she leaves, and then she comes back with her tia this time, and she was like, hey, like her tia's talking to me. She's like, hey, is she okay? And I'm like, I think so. I don't know. And then the girl is like, oh look, he has a potato salad. Do you want some? And,
Oh.
so I was like, yeah, like please take this potato salad. Like, here you go. And then I like drive off. But yeah, dude, that was a trippy night, and like just that was just one of the interesting people that I met like that week or
That's
two.
crazy.
Yeah, it was. It felt like funny. It was like just the humor in this divine comedy.
I've had a couple of those kinds of things happen to me in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna grab a beer real quick. Is that cool?
yeah, dude.
All right, cool. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
I'm back. He's gone. Omar Lopez.
I went to grab a drink too.
That's what's up. What kind of bev are you sipping on?
Wine.
Dang. Getting tizzering on a Saturday. Woo.
Cheers.
Cheers, homie. Have you ever watched a show called Letterkenny?
No.
It's really good.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's one of my favorite shows ever made.
Letter Kenny?
Letterkenny.
Who's Kenny?
It's a Letterkenny is like a fictional city in Canada.
Like, why is it your favorite show?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's funny, dude.
Good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Does it make your cheeks sore? Like your sides?
Yeah. Yes, dude. The first 2 minutes of the pilot episode are some of my favorite like comedy exchanges that I've ever seen in my life.
In the pilot?
Like in the pilot of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. It basically, so the show is about a rural town in Canada that has like Hicks, skids, hockey players, and like Christians.
Okay.
And dude, it's like I think the thing that makes it really funny is a combination of the attitudes of the characters, but then also like the dialogue that they write. Like it's linguistically imaginative show. Like
Cool.
they do when they do some of the opens to the seasons, they like sometimes it'll be like really fun wordplay,
Mm.
and everybody's so witty in the show. It's so good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like that's definitely something that appeals to me also, is like when there's like that linguistic element,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, yeah, it, like the like, yeah, like playing with the words, it's like it touches a different part of our funny bones.
Yeah, there's one scene where like they always like the Hicks are kind of like the main characters of the show. And there's like they don't come off as like super smart, but then like when they're like engaged with somebody, like they could like they say like their knowledge tends to like transcend what you think it would.
Yeah.
And they're like talking about like what would happen if like your like balls got cut open, and like
Whoa.
each of them was disagreeing about like which part they would rather have exposed to the
Mm.
air.
Whoa.
And then somebody said the vesicles or the seminal vesicles, and then one of the guys went, "Oh, you mean like the Florida State Seminole vesicles?"
What?
And then like they don't say anything, and then like 2 minutes goes by, and he goes, "I said Florida State Seminole vesicles," and nobody laughed. And I just thought it was super funny, super funny.
I dig it, dude.
Yeah,
I like how you described it. Like their intelligence surpasses what you think it would.
yeah. Well, like it gets to the point where like like I don't know, like their behavior is just kind of like it like essentializes like Hicks and like country boys, and then like
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're like they have like super intelligence about like anatomy of the like testicles, and like it's just silly.
You remember that Netflix show where they own a dispensary?
Yeah. What was that show called?
I can't remember.
I can't either.
But what you're
Disjointed.
describing, disjointed. What you're describing reminds me of two characters, like
Is
those
it
you
the
the YouTubers.
YouTubers? Yeah. Yeah.
Like they they like get sober on the roof, and then they just like start speaking like out of what we thought was character up until then.
Yeah. They're like well spoken and like they don't throw their voices like they usually do.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty freaking funny.
Yeah. I like the guy that owns the karate store next door.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So, how are you? Oh, thanks for having me on your podcast, by the way.
Oh yeah. It was a pleasure. Thanks for coming on it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure for me as well. And I saw that you did one with James. I want to check that one out.
Yeah, I just actually it should be live by the time we're done with this, so it'll be available for your listening pleasure then.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was not only was it with James, it was with Kelsey too.
Oh yeah, was it like Miss Not Ma'am?
Yeah, it was with Miss Not Ma'am, and it was my 6th episode. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're really genuine people. I love them to death.
Good. I love them to life.
I was gonna say that, and then I was like, Omar will say it, and then you said it.
Oh, you planted the seed in me. The life seed.
Yeah, but they're yeah, I really felt like the purpose of the show that I do on my podcast was actualized in this episode.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to have the conversation and guide the conversation in the way I want it to happen
Heck yeah.
with those two. And then yesterday I had Mr. Storer on my podcast, and so that one should be up tomorrow. And I have a super I have like a surprise guest next week that I'm really excited about.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll tell you when we're not on your podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe did I tell you already?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Mr. Story was already a surprise guest to me. Like,
Yeah, it was, dude. The conversation I had with him was extremely enlightening for me.
oh, cool. So you felt
He
lighter?
is, yeah, yeah, dude. I like he like took brain cells out of my head, rewired them, and then placed them back in.
Oh, cool.
It was badass. He is so well spoken and funny, and wise, and he will always be a mentor to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's beautiful. It's so important to have like these mentors throughout our lives.
I agree. Yeah, I try to find teachers in old wisdom that's preserved in books, and then like also in people who do things that I want to be doing and they're already doing it successfully.
Yeah, success leaves clues.
I agree. Like indications towards actions that can be taken.
Somebody that comes to mind is 50 Cent. Like his branding and marketing. Like he
Yeah, dude, he has a video game, bro.
yeah, and he like got with vitamin water, and he's like an author. Like he's got a collab with Robert Greene.
Yeah, he wrote like kind of like one of the 48 Laws of Power type books, right?
Yeah, the 50th Law.
Oh, and he's 50 Cent.
Yeah, dude. The audiobook is pretty tight. It has like them two reading it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He was in that movie Last Vegas, I think. Is that what it's called?
Oh, I
Last
don't know.
Vegas?
Is that like the army one?
Yeah. No, it's like the where like the old men. I think Morgan Freeman is in it and like a couple of other old famous actors. And they're all doing like their like basically like their last trip to Vegas because they're all like super old.
Whoa,
It's really fun. And 50 Cent is in it because they get into some hijinks and 50 Cent ends up being there.
cool. Uh,
Yeah.
do you are you into acting? Like, would you ever act in a movie or like a feature
Dude.
film?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my finger on the pulse of a lot of film industry stuff is moving to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I actually have a funny story about that, but like there's a whole kind of homepage that has like open casting calls,
Yeah.
and I know somebody that interns at one of the casting agencies around here, and I also am looking into getting back into voice acting, which I have done before. So that actually, I think I would be really satisfied if like 100% of my living came from voice acting,
Why do you say that?
because like it sounds like a lot of fun. And if I could do it from home, then I feel like I would have a lot of freedom in my space to do sort of like build my own schedule around it.
Yeah.
Because like right now I do like my work is very much like 9 to 5, or even like realistically like 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, and then I freelance a lot. And I would really like to kind of be able to like be more nocturnal, I think. So
Cool.
yeah, I'd be able to do it that way.
Would you be open to going to some kind of recording studios to do voice acting? Like, I don't know, like let's say there's a new like Ed and Eddie cartoon, and
Yeah.
then like they want to record it at their studio. Would you
Yeah,
be
I'd be super down with that if they funded it.
yeah. Yeah, you get paid for your services.
Butter toast.
I'm saying this because I remember I watched like a documentary of Ed and Eddie, and I like saw them like doing their thing in their studio.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and usually with like cartoons around that, they do like all kind of go in one room and record together, so it's more like authentic dialogue.
I think
Yeah,
it'd
or
be tight
they'll
if
all be
you're.
in individual booths, and they'll be like, so they'll have like no sound bouncing or like crossover, and they'll be able to
I
see
want
each
your
other.
voice in a video game.
Oh, dude, that'd be fun. I want my voice in a video game.
Yeah, or maybe a lot of video games.
Yeah, that would be the bomb. Hey, let me know if you have anybody in your network that works on video games.
All right, I'll keep an ear
Cool.
out.
Thank you.
What I want to like dive deep into something.
All right, get into it. What do you want to talk about?
You know that feeling when you watch a movie, like probably Star Wars in your case, and it's just
Yeah.
like it like reaches something like that you don't normally like. I don't know, like it's like a different sense of Like I don't know. I think a good way to put it is like a movie makes you feel like really small, but also like really big.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I experience this a lot with like action movies. Like when
Yeah.
I go watch the Fast and the Furious or like John Wick, I walk out and I'm like, I want to be John Wick. Like,
Hmm.
um, and it's not usually my personality, but like there's something that the art does that like connects with a unconscious piece of me that's like, nah, dude, you want to be like a jacked, muscular secret agent, super fighter, excellent gun wielder, murderous, raving good guy. It's yeah, I don't even know what it like because it always dissolves. Like by the time I get home from the movie theater.
But do you think that's like inside of us and the movie just evokes it? Or do you think like the movie creates that for us?
I think that's what art does, dude. I think maybe it pulls something from within us, but I think art maybe it will sometimes art makes you conscious of things that you weren't even aware of before. Like if art represents something or is like meant to be like a representation of a power struggle in somebody's life, or like maybe they're making art that represents like the tumultuous politics of their home nation or something like that, and you may not be aware of that, but like then you can feel it. Like if you're really looking analytically at the art, it can pull that out of you. And I think it's the same thing that happens when you go watch a movie and the art places something in you that like excites you, like builds you up and gives you grandiose visions of what you could be.
Dude, I felt that
When
freaking
we went and watched,
watching. I'll go for it.
I was gonna say La La Land.
I was gonna say Pokemon, the first movie.
Something in me was like, he's gonna say La La Land. Yeah. And then you pointed out the unusual. Ha. I want to go through your podcast and like pull out like little laughs and like giggles that you do and make a laugh compilation.
Oh, please, dude. That's been on the
Yeah,
agenda for
that would
years.
be so many hours of work, but I got you.
Thanks. So like La La Land is super inspiring.
Dude, I saw that with you in the theaters.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I have girls over for like a movie, not that I do that a lot, but like like girls I've been interested in dating, like if we're gonna like watch a movie together, I always suggest La La Land because I
Yeah,
want
that's
to
a good
see their
one.
impression of it. Yeah, it's like, dude, so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Like I walked out of that movie. There's the song "City of Stars" and the lyrics are "City of stars, are you shining just for me?" And you walk out of that movie thinking like, especially because I lived like basically in Los Angeles at the time, I was like, I think it's there for me. Like it,
Straight up.
and like anybody could walk out of that movie and feel that way, but like it really makes you feel that. I was, dude, I cried at the end of that movie. The ending was just so. I mean, first of all, the cinematography was incredible. What they did, like after, I don't want to spoil. It's been out for like 4 years. When she goes and auditions for that movie, that like somebody went to her show and like offered her the role basically, and she does the song, and then it's like they're kind of like cycling in and out of things, and then it imagines a completely different future that never happened, and then pulls it away from you right at the end, and then you go, oh, like they both got what their dreams were in the end, but it came at the cost of something else that could have also been really beautiful. And I really loved the dichotomy of that. Was a type of ending that I don't think a lot of other movies have explored. Give you the ending that you want, but not the ending you deserve.
Oh.
And then pull it away.
Yeah, the movies that I like to watch with girls are Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
What
yeah,
about poetic
Friday.
justice? Oh,
Well, I don't have poetic justice,
okay.
so not that one. But yeah, Friday. That's like my go-to.
I know. I feel there was I came over to your house a few times a couple years ago, and you were like, you want to watch Friday? Like each time I came over, you were like my two of my younger sisters, like they'll find a movie they like, and then it stays on the TV on repeat for like days and days and days. And especially when they were really little, they would like start dancing along to it and like making costumes and like just let it run over and over again and just like jump around and pretend they were in the movie.
Yeah.
And I felt like you were doing that with Friday because like it was like 2 or 3 days in a row I came to see you and you're like, I'm watching Friday again.
Yeah, it's true. Totally. Like I remember I probably watched that like every day for like a week or so or something like that. The I wanna get La La Land now though. You're making me like want to see it
Yeah,
again.
I have it on DVD. Maybe wonder,
If we
you know
push
what we
play at
could
the
do
same
is
time.
no, we could it probably wouldn't work all that well on a Zoom meeting. Like if I shared the screen, the audio would probably suck.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean we
No,
could do that or
if you play it on your end and share the screen, I think it should be fine.
okay. I was earlier today I was playing like a Jackbox games with a couple of friends. Like one
Yeah.
was in Scotland and one was in Minnesota and we were playing a game called Fibbage and like it was like you could play it. It was totally fine, but like there would be like lag from the audio to the video. Yeah. Like that the quality was definitely sacrificed for the fun.
Hmm. Did you ever like watch a movie with somebody over the phone or watch a TV show with somebody over the phone?
When I was younger, yeah. Or like when I would like flirt with girls in high school, there was one where I would like we would watch that 70s show together at night, but just like text about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I did that with like Adventure Time, I think.
Oh, that's fun. Who would you do that with?
I don't want to tell you.
Oh, okay. You don't want to tell me or you don't want to tell the internet?
Either one.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Have you ever fallen asleep at a beach?
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, dude.
It's incredible.
It was like what's the word? I didn't know what was happening when I woke up. I did I
That happens to me like when I fall asleep in a place where I'm supposed to fall asleep.
like you didn't know where you were like
Like I wake up like, whoa. Like if I fall asleep on my couch and like take a nap and I wake up and I'm like, why am I on my couch? Where have I been? Why is this?
Have you ever woken up like you fall asleep at like when the sun is out and then you wake up and the sun's down?
Yeah. It's kind of that feeling like when you go in to watch a movie when the sun's out and then come out and it's dark.
Yeah, I had that movie feeling on a beach once.
Oh, did you fall asleep while it was like light out on a beach and then dark when you woke up?
Yeah, and I woke up like under a blanket.
Whoa. Was it your blanket?
Yeah, it was my
Oh,
blanket.
good. Can you give me more of the story? Like what like how many hours did you sleep on this beach?
Oh, probably like maybe an hour, like not like a crazy like amount of time. But yeah, dude, it was a trip. It
It
was
is a trip.
yeah, it was fun. I also remember going to Blockbuster and watching Spirited Away that night.
Dang, this was a long time ago
Why?
because there was a Blockbuster.
Oh yeah. It was probably like right when I don't know, like my first year of college, my second year
Oh,
of
oh,
college.
that's right. That Blockbuster was like one of the last ones.
Do you like Spirited Away?
I don't really remember much about it. Is that no? It's not. Yeah, I've seen it, but that's the one with the little moon spirits or the little forest spirits.
Yeah, the Kodamas.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. I like Howl's Moving Castle.
Wait, I don't think the forest spirits were in Spirited Away. They were in My
Yeah,
Neighbor
they were.
Totoro.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
Does Spirited Away have the wolf in it?
No, that's Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, and oh wait, no, and then Princess Mononoke also has the little forest spirits.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Kodamas.
yeah,
Dude, Japan's so freaking tight.
yeah.
Like,
Tell me about like I don't think I know a ton about your like trip there. Like I know like little stories, but like
yeah. What do you want to know?
I guess like what kind of growth did you experience as a result of your trip to Japan?
Oh, dude, one thing that I really I brought back with me is like the use of space. Like it's just so incredible how so much can be like so compact
Yeah,
and
they
like
grow. They do thin and tall, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like the homes are like super like there's like not really a lot of space between homes in certain areas, and then like just like people are so good at parking their cars like
Yeah.
and then like utilizing like up and down. It's beautiful. And it's
Do you
a
watch do you watch lo-fi beats to chill and study to?
yeah,
You know how like the outside the window, like the girl's house, there's like all those houses that are like smashed up against each other. That's like what
yeah,
I think when I think Japan.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to visualize it. That's definitely like inspired by it. It's yeah. So that's one thing, and I brought it back. Like now I've rearranged my room in a certain way, and it's definitely like inspired by that. It's like okay, like I know that I can like make a lot more space than I realize.
Right.
And then
I should think
yeah,
about that.
yeah, dude, because the way the energy flows in your room, like if you create more space, there's more room for the energy to flow.
Yeah. That's
The other
dope.
the other thing I brought back was like just the kind of connection with nature, like especially in Kyoto. It's like beautiful how like the architecture, like there's like nature incorporated everywhere. Like houses, it's not uncommon to see like a house with a bunch of plants around it, and
Mm.
just like see like all these like trees growing, and it's so green. So it just makes me want to have like more plants. Cause
I've gotten a lot of plants recently.
yeah,
Yeah.
what kinds?
Take I have a peperomia. I have an agave. I have a couple of succulents. One of them's called a Mother of Thousands, and my friend Paige gave it to me. And then I have an aloe plant, and I've got a few.
Do you utilize their medicinal properties?
Not yet. I haven't harvested anything from them, but I can tell you that like taking care of them has been medicinal for my soul.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I do.
When you nurture something outside of you, it's kind of like you're nurturing yourself.
That's true. Being responsible for the livelihood of these plants and this cat makes me feel like I need to be more responsible for myself so that I can protect them.
Dude, I want to get a cat. Like you have a
You
cat,
should.
and my neighbor Malik has a cat, or a bunch of cats actually.
Yeah. You should get a cat.
Yeah, I think that's a
The animal shelters are really desiring for people to get cats right now.
okay.
You should consider it. It also would be a really good time because we have the foreseeable future to bond with these animals.
Is your cat an indoor cat?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't mind to be an outdoor cat. Have you had one of those
You
before?
know. Uh-huh. I I worry about that. I have mixed feelings about outdoor cats. Mostly because while I find them resourceful, like they'll go to other people for food, and then they'll kind of introduce a lot of different things into their diet that can be compromising for their immune and digestive system. If they're not fixed, then they stand a chance at kind of overpopulating the area with feral kittens. Um, I think like a good combo of like indoor and outdoor as a cat is good.
Oh, you can train them to be both?
Probably,
Cool.
yeah. Like there's a lot of cats that'll like be indoor cats that like go out and then come back. Like they know where home is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, I think like it would be good for me just
I
to
think so too.
like interact with a different being other than humans and a guinea pig.
There's also you probably would want an outdoor cat because you have that guinea pig.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But maybe the cat wouldn't bother the guinea pig. Hard to say.
What's your cat's name?
Teddy,
Teddy.
Teddy Winslow.
Can you tell me about your guys' relationship?
Yeah, she's very loving. I got her from my friend Funk,
Yeah.
and
You got Teddy from the funk?
yeah, and he named her Teddy because he thought she was a boy. And then when he found out she was a girl, he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to change her name." So her full name is Teddy Winslow, like the Power Ranger. And so I helped my friend Funk move from his old house to a new apartment in like October or November. And he had a dog and two cats, and the cats' names are Jazzy and Teddy. And Jazzy is Teddy's mom. And so when he moved, he like kind of downsized his living space because he wanted to not have a roommate. So anyway, he got his spot, and he was like, "Yo, you and Teddy get along really well. Like, would you want to take her? I don't really want to get rid of her, but she like I don't have as much space, and I feel like it's a lot for three animals." I was like, "Oh yeah, like that'd be cool. Let me talk to my landlord." My landlord said no, and like I could very easily have just registered her as an emotional support animal, and just kind of bypassed everything. And I decided not to. Um, but then when this all started, I was like, I would really like to not do this like entirely alone. So I was just like, I'm just going to take her and then register as an emotional support animal. So I did.
Cool.
And she's very, very loving. Like she's very cuddly, and I can hold her like a baby and pet her stomach.
So was she
And
cuddly with you like when she was still with Funk?
yeah, like she would like jump up on my shoulders and just kind of hang out. And she was smaller then too. She's only just turning like 2 soon. So um she like when I met her, she was a little smaller than she is now. And so she could like kind of like just like crawl on my shoulder while I walked around. Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
So what kinds of stuff do you do to take care of her? Like how often do you feed her and
I
like
feed her every day in the morning. I just give her like enough food, and she doesn't just like eat it all in one sitting. She like grazes through the day and finishes it by the night. So I feed her every morning, give her water, take care of her litter box, and I just give her a lot of attention. And I got her toys and like a scratch post and stuff.
oh cool, what kind of toys?
She's got like these little catnip mice that she like likes to beat around. She also likes to play with my gloves, like my winter gloves. So like she found them in a shelf, and she starts like throwing it around the house basically, and like swatting at it. So I just let her play with my gloves because it's not really cold out right now.
Cool.
Yeah, but she loves to be pet. She likes attention a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what kinds of qualities would you recommend that I or like how do I go about finding a cat that would work with me?
I would say if you can get yourself to an animal shelter. I don't know how it's working right now, but like I,
Yeah.
I know the one in Camarillo, like they have a cat room where you can go in and there's cats roaming around,
They
and
have a
you can
cat
go
room?
sit. Yeah, like you go like there are a lot of cats that are just in like cages, like the other animals, or like in kennels. And then there's a room where there's like cats that are like friendly with each other that can just roam around, and you can just go in there and sit and like pet the cats and hang out with them. That's a
Whoa.
good way to like gauge like what kind of like relationship you might have with that cat.
You've done this
Obviously,
before?
it's a little different now. What's that?
You've done this before?
Yeah, I used to just go to the animal shelter sometimes to like check out the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. So my homie Malik, he has like he always got like a bunch of cats, and it's pretty freaking tight. Like
yeah.
he'll be here like I don't know, we'll be like in the kitchen, and he hears his cat outside. So then he calls out to it. He's like, "Gray Bell," and then he's like, "Watch, she's gonna call back." And like I'll watch her like come up and then like meow at the window. And then it was funny. Like one time she walked into our garage, like our garage was open, and Malik and I were inside the house. And so he's like, "Oh, she thinks I'm in the garage." Like I just thought it was like so cool, like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she trusts him.
Wow.
Yeah, she knows his voice. That's cool.
And then
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Teddy's she can be like vocal with me sometimes. Like I'll like when I walk in the house and I've been gone, she'll like usually be waiting for me. So I'll just be like, "What's up?" And she'll like if she wants me to come pet her, she's like, "Ah." And sometimes she just kind of like nods at me.
So did you have dogs growing up?
Yeah, I had like Labradors a lot when I was a kid, and then I lived with like a bunch of different family members, so I kind of had whatever pets they had.
Yeah.
But like when I was really little, we had this dog, a golden retriever named Strider, and he was like the best dog ever. And
Strider.
yeah, he died when I was like 2 or 3, but I
Mhm.
remember him. That's how
Wow.
cool he was.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, and then we got a dog named Beamer, and then like I moved around a little bit, and I had like a couple of cats. And when I lived with my mom in Reno, she would just like get dogs sometimes, and then like I didn't really know how to train him all that well, but I would try. And then like if then sometimes my mom would just get rid of them while I was at school or something.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was something. And then um my like when I moved in with my aunt and uncle, we had the cat Penny, and then Penny passed away, and we got Delilah. And Delilah, Penny and I like became chill after a while, but she never really trusted me fully. And Delilah is like homies with me.
How can you tell
And
that
then
that Penny never trusted?
like you can see in cats like there's like signs that they give that they trust you. Like some of the tail shapes that they make like show that they're comfortable around you entirely or like trust you. And like some like if they let you handle them or like pet them for extended periods of time, if they expose their belly to you, that's one way. Delilah's like Teddy's super like that. She just like Teddy and I are like BFFs right now. It's tight. And
Dope.
then Penny passed away. She was like 18 or 19, and we got Delilah. And then
Dang.
when I was
Is it
back visiting
is
in
that how long they
August,
live? Like 19 years?
usually about like 15 to 21.
Wow.
Yeah, 21's like a really long cat life.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then we have Gunner now at my parents' house.
Yeah.
Gunner's a really cool dog.
Dude, Gunner likes sniffing my nuts and butthole.
Ah! Oh my god. Oh.
Does he do that with you too, or just me?
Yeah, dude, dogs be sniffing buttholes, bro. Like that's just how it goes. He really likes your Guatemalan waft.
Yeah, dude. It's just I have that effect, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, clearly. Dang. It's like
I got
can't believe a
tasty
dog
balls.
sniffed your nuts, bro. Like, what the heck? That's crazy.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't believe he does that to you.
it throws me off like every time. Like I know it's gonna happen, but
Dude, dogs are like big on sense, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. They're like, oh, what's that? What's going on down there? What's up with their downstairs mix up?
Yeah, why do they like doing that? Do they get a better sense of the person?
Because yeah, well, we exude a lot of like like hormones and odors from those areas, so they're drawn to that. I mean, that's how they like detect like things in other animals, is like what kind of energy are they putting out, basically. Yeah, they want to get familiar with your scent too, because they can detect you later on, like once they are aware of it.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just like I don't like what I'm visualizing in my head right now. Is like I could maybe I could like really create a bond with a dog if I expose my butthole to it, but it's like I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, dude, I think your dog might try to bond with you a little too closely if you show it your
Yeah.
butthole.
Yeah.
Just show it kindness, bro.
What, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No. We can keep talking about dogs if you want.
No, I'm good.
Did you snort? That was a butthole laugh, not a corona laugh. I mean, corona cough.
Yeah, that was a butthole cough.
So do you want to end this or you want to keep going?
Oh, we could end it.
All right.
I'm doing tonight. I'm playing movie trivia with my family on Zoom.
Cool.
I'm gonna take a little screen break until then. That's in like 40 minutes.
Awesome.
But this was fun.
Yeah, dude. Tell them I said hi. This was a lot of fun.
I will. I'll see. Do you want to do it? Maybe.
Oh, I got another podcast to film after this, but thank you.
Oh, okay. Who are you talking with?
Andrew, my friend from my BFF since 5.
Medina?
Yeah.
Dude, tell him I said what's up.
All right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, dude. I'm thinking about making all you guys Pokemon like when I release you on my Instagram and YouTube. Like
Yeah.
like you, Andrew, and Sierra, and whoever else.
Yeah, I saw you did that with Sierra. That was fun.
Thanks.
Yeah. I have you do you put that episode out like yesterday, huh? Or a couple
Oh,
days ago?
I can't remember, dude.
I don't either.
Yeah,
Yours will be out in oh wait, yours is out on mine. Never mind.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
Yeah.
tuning into the Grateful Podcast.
Yeah. Oh, follow me on Instagram at Zach Valladon and at Pretty Well Okay. Also follow me on Twitter and follow me on Facebook and buy all my albums on Bandcamp and stream me on Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal.
You heard the man pretty well. Thanks, Zach.
Sweet. Thank you,
I
Dad.
love
I
you.
missed you. I
Miss
love
you
you too.
too.
Be good.
You too. See you later.